Hey everyone, this is Lauren Mack with Hack in the Rat Race. Do you have a long lost 401k or multiple 401ks that you haven't rolled over because you don't know how or you think it'll take way too much effort? Today I'm going to go over how to roll over your 401k and even better, talk about a company called Capitalize and how they work. Capitalize is a company that helps people roll over their 401k from their past employer into an IRA for free. They can even help you locate your old 401ks from previous employers and help you roll those into an IRA as well. This saves you time, eliminates the headache of having to do it yourself, and makes it easier to locate all of those old 401ks. So let's jump right in. A 401k is an employer-sponsored retirement account that many companies offer employees as part of their benefits package. Usually, a 401k is made up of a basket of pre-selected equities, such as a mutual fund, and you can designate a percentage of your pre-tax income from each paycheck to get invested into your 401k account. Oftentimes, employers will match your contribution up to a certain amount. I always recommend taking advantage of the match because it's essentially free money and part of your compensation, so you don't want to leave money on the table. The other benefit of investing into a 401k, besides the obvious benefit of saving for retirement, is that it can potentially offset the income taxes you owe at the end of the year because you're investing pre-tax dollars into your 401k, therefore reducing your overall taxable income. Now, let's talk about an IRA. An IRA stands for Individual Retirement Account. This is a retirement account that is not sponsored by an employer, but instead a retirement account that you set up yourself. The contributions are tax deductible, and you have a much greater autonomy in choosing the investments. Oftentimes, an IRA costs less to maintain compared to a 401k, and typically has a lot more investment options for you to choose from. If you would like to learn more about 401ks, IRAs, and Roth IRAs, you can check out my video called Roth IRA versus Traditional IRA versus 401k. I'll put a link to it above and the show notes below. If you recently left a job where you had a 401k account, it's usually a good idea to roll those savings into an IRA or even a new 401k with your current employer. A rollover is a technical term for the money you transfer from a 401k account to another retirement account, such as an IRA. In most cases, it's what people decide to do with the money that they've saved up in their 401k account when they decide to leave their job. A rollover is different than a withdrawal, and this is important to understand. A withdrawal is when you choose to pull out your money out of a 401k and pay taxes on it. A rollover is a tax-free event because your money remains in a retirement account. Even if you have more than one 401k, you can consolidate multiple 401ks or IRAs. The benefit of this is it helps you stay on top of your retirement assets by keeping them in one place. Another benefit of this is it helps you to make sure you're not paying too much in fees. In most cases, a 401k rollover process isn't too difficult. However, it is important to make sure that you follow certain rules so you don't incur any penalties or create a taxable event. If you're getting value out of this video, don't forget to poke the like button. If you want to roll your 401k over yourself, then you can start by asking the 401k administrator with your old employer to help you. This person is usually in the human resources department. They're normally only responsible for getting the money out, so they can tell you what documents you need and how the process will work to get the money released from the company's 401k account. However, before you make the actual transition, it's important to first contact the financial institution you're moving the money to so you can open the account and they can instruct you on the time frame and the method of how to get the money to them and into the account without creating a taxable event or incurring any penalties. Once you have the process on both sides ironed out, then you can start the process of having the money moved over. During the process, it's important to monitor the accounts and stay in contact with the companies if necessary. It isn't too complicated, but it just takes several steps and patience as you work through the process. I have rolled over several 401ks in the past, and each time it was a little bit different due to the rules of each 401k. But I've always done it myself by just asking both companies, the company I'm taking the money from and the company I'm transferring the money to, for help throughout the process. However, if you're not used to handling a lot of financial transactions or have never done a rollover before, then the process can seem a bit complicated. Before I get into how Capitalize can make this process so much easier for free, I want to hear from you in the comments below. Would you rather move your old 401k into an IRA or your current company's 401k account? So, this is where Capitalized services come in. If you've never attempted a 401k rollover before, or you just don't want to hassle with doing it yourself, then Capitalize might be the solution. The nice thing about their service is that you will have someone available to guide you through the entire process. They specialize in managing each step of the rollover process for you. They do everything from locating your 401k to opening a new IRA and handling the transfer. You might be wondering, how long will the process take? Well, it depends. Usually a processing time for a rollover depends on the 401k institution involved. Under normal circumstances, it can be from a few days to a few weeks. It's important to note that Capitalize only rolls your 401k into an IRA. It's also important to note that if you already have a 401k with your new employer, Capitalize won't be able to help you roll the old 401k into it. They're not set up to provide that service at this time. However, if you choose to go that route, then your new company 401k administrator should be able to help you walk through the steps in the process to get it transferred over. The best thing about using Capitalize to roll over your 401k is there are no fees to use Capitalize. It is actually a completely free service. Now, you're probably thinking this sounds too good to be true, or that there has to be some sort of catch, or even that this sounds like some sort of scam. The way that their business model works and the way that they make money is if you choose to roll over your 401k with an IRA provider on their platform, they receive a commission from the IRA provider. For example, if you roll your 401k to a Fidelity IRA using Capitalize, then they receive a commission from Fidelity at no cost to you. Now, if you're thinking, I wouldn't even know what IRA provider to choose or what would be best for me, they can even help you choose an IRA provider. The way they work is, they'll ask you a few questions when you decide to move forward and give you some IRA options. They do things like help compare fees, investments, other important features. Then, when you've picked an IRA that suits you, they actually help you open the account online, and if you already have an IRA and wish to use it instead, then they can help you with that as well. You might also be wondering how Capitalize evaluates IRAs. They consider such factors as fees, public rating scores, also their own review of things like ease of use, customer support, and even investment philosophy. These are very important things for you to consider whenever you're choosing a financial services company to do business with. Normally, Capitalize helps you roll your 401k into a traditional IRA, but they can also help you roll your 401k into a Roth IRA. However, the process is a bit more complex than a typical rollover. The method for moving money from a traditional 401k to a Roth IRA is a typical two-step process. Step 1, you'll move your traditional 401k to a traditional IRA. Next, your IRA provider will move your traditional IRA into a Roth IRA. This is known as a Roth conversion. One thing to bear in mind is that most Roth conversions are taxable. So with this being the case, it's always a good idea to talk to your tax professional should you choose to do this. You might now be wondering, Lauren, what's the difference between a Roth and a traditional IRA? Well, the main difference between a Roth and a traditional IRA is when you get your tax break. So for example, with a traditional IRA, your contributions are tax-free and you will pay taxes on the money when you start taking withdrawals. However, with a Roth IRA, it's the exact opposite. You'll have to pay taxes on your contributions going into your account, but your withdrawals will be tax-free. Another way that Capitalize can help is if you have a 401k balance with a previous employer from a long time ago. Maybe it was so long ago that you don't remember if you even contributed to the company's 401k or not. Or perhaps the company has since gone out of business and you wouldn't even know where to begin to start looking to see if you still have money that you're entitled to. This is actually more common than you might realize. According to Capitalize's website, as of May 2021, we estimate that there are 24.3 million forgotten 401ks holding approximately $1.35 trillion in assets, with another 2.8 million left behind annually. Leaving behind a forgotten 401k account has the potential to cost an individual almost $700,000 in foregone retirement savings over a lifetime. So, if you're one of these people who might not know which institution manages your 401k, that's okay. It is not a problem. If you can tell Capitalize which company you previously worked for, then they will attempt to track it down for you. They have access to a database to help them find your 401k. And if that doesn't work, they even have experts that can usually track it down. When your old 401k has been located and you decided on a new IRA provider, Capitalize will handle all the administrative paperwork for you. They will also keep you informed throughout the whole process and will contact you once everything is completely set up and ready to go. Another option that can be more cumbersome is to look for these old 401ks on the Department of Labor's website. All workplace retirement accounts, like a 401k, must be registered with the federal government. So you can search what are called Form 5500 to look for your returns yourself at the Department of Labor's website and see if you can locate your old 401k on your own. If you're watching this and thinking of moving your 401k to an IRA and investing in mutual funds, index funds, or ETFs, but you really don't understand the difference between them or how they work, then check out this video right here.